Hi everyone. Welcome to my channel, Turkish series stars. All the details are in my video. If you like it, I'd be so grateful if you gave it a thumbs up and subscribed to Turkish series stars. You can support me even more by clicking the join button below. Thank you for being here, and now let's dive in. In the last few days, the Turkish entertainment scene has been shaken by a wave of noise no one saw coming. An organized smear against Demet Özdemir burst across social platforms, targeting a woman audiences have cherished for years. It wasn't just a headline, it felt like a strike at her calm, her privacy, and the steady goodwill she's carried through her career. Fans were stunned, watching a baseless narrative mushroom as if fed by pure summer heat, while Demet's name ricocheted from thread to thread, post to post, as if repetition alone could turn rumor into something more. The way it began was as sudden as it was senseless. Within hours, timelines flooded with claims that arrived without proof yet somehow grew louder by the minute. It was the kind of feverish cycle anyone in the public eye dreads: screenshots, half-explanations, stray sentences cropped out of context. Demet's name, a familiar beacon of charm and effort, was pulled into a conversation that didn't care about facts. Known for handling her private life with poise and her public life with grace, she first chose to keep her composure and say nothing. Perhaps she hoped the weather would change and the gust would pass. But the volume rose so high that quiet no longer felt like a choice. The pressure was inside and out, and it demanded something more than patience. Friends say the emotional toll was not abstract. It landed in her day-to-day, in the way she read her messages, in the way her phone turned from a tool into a reminder that people were whispering her name for the wrong reasons. So she stepped back. She stopped posting, declined public appearances, and let a closed door be her only statement for a while. That decision, mistaken by a few as surrender, was in truth a boundary. Someone whose integrity had been doubted without cause needed room to breathe, to reckon with pain that had no logic, and to remember who she is away from the storm. For a star who has built much of her career on discipline, kindness, and credibility, such retreat wasn't frailty, it was self-preservation, the act of saving one's center when the world won't. Amid this churn of speculation and quick takes, one figure stepped closer rather than back, bringing a note of humanity to a noisy moment. Yaman. Admired for his drive, known for his frankness and generosity with colleagues, he didn't wait for the tide to turn. Those close to Demet say their communication barely paused during the worst nights. He called. He texted. He showed up when showing up mattered. When the door opened, it wasn't for a press statement, it was for a familiar voice offering a soft place to land. He is said to have told her, again and again, the truth always finds a way. Persevere, because you have done nothing to hide. Not a speech, not a soundbite, just a sentence steady enough to hold on to. What they share, forged through years of intertwined paths and a bond the public has never stopped analyzing, took on a different weight in this context. It became a quiet pledge that in a business where loyalty is often whispered and rarely witnessed, there would be a witness anyway. Cameras eventually caught up. Photographers managed to capture the two during a brief meeting outside a tucked-away cafe. No theatrics, no staged angles, just a conversation and a moment of eye contact that said enough. The response was immediate. Social media shifted from feeding the rumor to pushing back against it. Comments poured in, calling for decency. Hashtags popped up, cresting across platforms, hashtag Demet Özdemir is not alone, hashtag stand with Demet, hashtag respect the truth. Fans, actors, and producers added their voices, reminding anyone scrolling that character should not be destroyed by a cascade of unverified claims. Behind the online tumult, there's a more intricate reality that experts have begun to articulate. Psychologists and media observers warn how hard it is to stand inside a digital crowd that has turned into a tribunal. It's not just the fear that a lie might stick. It's the relentless task of proving a negative without the time, space, or fairness to do it. The mind lives on guard, sleep becomes shallow, and even ordinary tasks feel weighted. For someone like Demet, established, hardworking, still pushing herself into new roles and challenges, the invisible damage matters. It is difficult to quantify and even harder to narrate without sounding like a complaint. Yet it exists, and it spreads across the days like a shadow. The good news, if there is any to be found in a week like this, is the resolve she's held on to. Those close to her describe a woman who is hurt but not broken, quiet but not surrendering. She has taken time with family, pulled in a circle of trust, and begun to consider a path forward that includes legal options. Reports indicate she is gathering posts, timestamps, and first-hand accounts, anything that would turn the fog of offense into a clear map of who pushed what and when. The goal isn't just to clear her name, it's to draw a line in a business where the distance between truth and traffic can collapse into a single headline. If a suit is filed, it might become a marker others can cite later, a way of saying there are consequences for turning speculation into ammunition. In the background, Can's presence continues, not loud, not performative, but steady. The two don't need to spell it out, the familiarity between them says enough. Years of scenes together, shared sets, and the complex dance of a relationship observed by millions have left them with a rhythm that resurfaces when life gets hard. To the public, it reads as a promise that not everything is as brittle as gossip makes it. Sometimes, when a story breaks you down to the most personal pieces, the person who helps you pick them up is the person who knows how they fit because they were there when you first built them. The audience of Turkish series stars, always tuned to the rises and falls of the personalities they admire, has been deeply affected. So we want to hear from you. What do you make of this campaign? Do you feel there's a calculated attempt to derail a chapter of Demet's career? Or are we, once again, witnessing how unfiltered rumor mills can coax people into accepting anything that's repeated enough? Your voice matters here. Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's keep this conversation focused on respect and responsibility. If you want to stay informed about every shift, anticipated statements, potential legal steps, the responses from colleagues, and how Demet is holding up, subscribe to Turkish series stars and turn on notifications so you don't miss a single update. And if you'd like to support what we do, hit that join button and become part of our community. Your support helps us bring you the most thoughtful, compassionate coverage of the Turkish entertainment world, told with care rather than clickbait. As the hours stretch, the path of this story seems to point towards something unavoidable. Demet will speak. When she does, the message could reset the tone and give shape to a narrative that has been tangled by hearsay. It could even start a broader conversation around how we share, react, and hold each other accountable online. For every person who has ever found themselves the subject of a lie that snowballed into a spectacle, a measured and firm response can be a kind of mercy. Until then, it is the solidarity that shines through. The image of Can stepping in, not as a headline but as a person, has settled into the public imagination as a reminder that companionship is not outdated, even in a world that moves at the speed of a swipe. It's a signal that caring out loud still counts. And while this chaos feels loud and unfair, it is temporary. The fascination with mayhem burns fast. Integrity, when guarded, endures. In the end, this smear has exposed something more profound than a passing scandal. It has revealed how quickly a lie can travel and how urgently truth needs defenders. It has reminded us that behind familiar faces are human beings carrying the weight of their work and the weight of everyone's gaze. And it has shown that friendship, real, unselfish friendship, remains a lifeline. You can dismiss gossip, you can criticize the system, but you cannot deny the warmth in a hand that reaches for yours when the room turns cold. Here at Turkish series stars, we'll follow this with the rigor it deserves and the sensitivity it requires. We'll seek out facts, avoid the noise, and amplify empathy where we can. Thank you so much for watching. Take good care of yourselves and each other. We'll see you in the next video, right here on Turkish series stars. Goodbye for now.